I'm so excited to talk about today's film. I'm so excited I could do it. The art of filmmaking has never seen more abuse than when assaulted by the revolutionary filmmaker Donald James Parker. A few months back, I covered one of his more recent films, Hearts Are Trump, the biggest heaping of nonsense I've watched in the past year. Sure, you can guess what that was about. But see, the thing is, you actually can't guess, because to the guy's credit, none of his films are predictable in the slightest. Hearts Are Trump specifically was filled with hateful rhetoric and wild political conspiracy theories simply masked as dialogue exchanges between characters. The film felt more like an hour-and-a-half long political rant than an actual movie, so for this video's film, I decided, hey, let's go back to simpler times, right? Let's go back to the fresh year of 2014. I mean, look at what happened in 2014. You got the Ebola outbreak, oh shit, Malaysia Flight 370, damn, wait, I kind of forgot when that actually happened. Rise of ISIS, heavy, let's see, Robin Williams suicide, God, okay, wow. Okay, well, I was 14 that year, so, okay, no, I should have been canceled. I should have been doing something. This year also saw the release of Gramps Goes To College, a classic film by the one, the only, Donald James Parker. This movie to me sounded like a refreshing break from the coarse and dense literature of his typical screenplays. However, I suppose I'm a goddamn idiot, because Gramps isn't going to college to have some good times and some laughs. No, he's not going to become a better version of himself. No, Gramps is going to college to spread Christianity. And that evolution is fake. Guys, watching this movie is much like watching a terrible car crash. And speaking of terrible car crashes, let me tell you a little bit about Morgan & Morgan, America's largest accident injury law firm. Because when you're seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest for a reason. They've won a lot. Just in the past couple of months, Morgan & Morgan saw verdicts of $12 million in Florida, $26 million in Philadelphia, and $6.8 million in New York. Oh my God. The best part is that unless you win, the fee is absolutely free. You can start a claim with America's largest injury law firm with just a click. It's so easy. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/Andy King, or click the link in the description.
So now that you're retiring, what are you gonna do? Work out and fish all day?
Yeah, right. So Donald's starting this one off in the last place I'd expect to see him, but as we now know, his character is retired, now giving him time to do awful things. In the last film, we actually saw him start a cult. Turns out they also really liked Funko Pops, so there's no telling what he's gonna get himself into this time. But we do know one thing. It's gonna have to do with Jesus Christ.
I'm free full time to work on what God wants me to do. I feel led to go back to college.
College? You already have a degree, don't you?
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, all right, that sounded a little bit defensive. Hey, I don't think this guy has a degree, am I right, guys? So his motives for going back to college are a little foggy. He says that he doesn't want a degree. Instead, he just wants to go take some courses.
I'm not gonna go for another degree, just take some courses.
And there's nothing wrong with that, okay, that's normal, but he also mentions this.
Down south somewhere. Never been down there.
Me either. I heard it's beautiful.
Got a daughter down there in Tennessee. I might try it down there, even though she won't even talk to me.
Okay, guys. Okay, little spoiler. There's no daughter character in this movie. So my theory is either Donald immediately fucked up in the writing process, or he's projecting his issues from real life. I'm thinking the latter. Regardless, he just shared some pretty raw stuff. So I wonder what his wise young gym buddy has to say about this.
I get it. It's the babes. Southern Belles.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, God, this guy fucks. That's so cool. I mean, the dude's a dirtbag, right? By the way, I know you guys aren't seeing the movie in full, but have you noticed that he's been doing the same exercise the entire time? Also, what the fuck is he doing? He's literally just doing this. It doesn't even look like there's weight attached to it.
The majority of the parents don't even realize those kids are being brainwashed by liberal, secular humanist professors who use their power over the mighty GPA and their influence over developing
all right, man.
young...
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll catch you later. I gotta run. So in a nutshell, his plan is to go to a college and convert not just students, but professors into believing the word of the Lord. See, I think going back to school at any age is amazing, okay? But sometimes I think there's a reason people retire. Most of DJP's films revolve around his character being this missionary type. I truly think the guy sees himself as this force of change in people's lives. I mean, we already know right off the bat that he's trying to single-handedly tear down secularism, so he wears it on his sleeve. You know, he's not trying to hide anything. That said, I hate to admit this, but I think it would be ignorant to assume that these films haven't spoken to, at the very least, a few individuals. And that fact alone is highly frightening. With his goal set, Donald is ready to head off to college. And in the next scene, we meet this mom and her daughter who fucking hate each other.
But to have to stay in the dorms, it's humiliating. I'm 21 now.
Well, look at the bright side. You're a senior. Only have to do it 1 year. And the next time you want to drink and drive, maybe you will think about the consequences.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm sorry, Donald. I'm sorry. Not gonna lie, but the daughter is kind of the shitty one here. Not only did she drink and drive, but she's also just so spoiled. She keeps asking for a new car like she didn't just pick up a DUI. When Donald pulls up to college, the first thing we learn about him is that he's afraid of women.
This appears to be a girls' dormitory.
Oh, this is Hickerson. It's a co-ed dorm.
Co-ed?
Yes, that means both for male and female.
Yeah, I'm aware of what the word co-ed means. I'm just a little bit surprised and confused because I expressly asked for a men's dormitory.
Afraid of women? Or man of God? We also learned that his character's name is Ty Bounds, and I don't know if I'm reading too far into this, but that's just one of those names where it's like, why did you pick that one? Well, then he gets pissed off at the woman for assuming that he's here to drop off his grandson, and I mean, dude, he is such an asshole.
What's the matter? Don't you have any sexagenarians ever stay in his dorm?
What?
Sexagenarian. It means someone who's 60-something years old.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up, dude. You know what I mean? I just want to smack the back of his head. You know, he's so smug.
I'm sorry for that one, guys. I'm trying to be less violent. I'm trying to be less violent in my internet videos.
When I open up this door, 327, I'm not going to find a female roommate behind it, I hope.
No, sir.
All right, man. All right. We get it, man. Guys, I'm not a pedophile, I swear. You know, the more you hammer it in, the more I question you. Another staple in Donald James Parker films is aggressive establishing dialogue, which we experience when this father and his daughter walk in. When I say aggressive, I'm not exaggerating, okay? I mean, I'm talking about point-blank shotgun blast aggressive.
I wish your mother could share this moment with us.
Me too. But if she hadn't taken the new job to help me get through school, you wouldn't have to drive me here.
True. I love how you grasp reality without flinching.
Wow, that character trait of yours sure is the reason that I love you. And that I'm your father. Oh, guys, I just noticed there's nothing on the TV. Shame on me, let me fix that. I know you guys can't make it without your stimulating images in the background. Yeah, because who cares about my video? Hold on. Anyway, Dada's like,
I'd like to pray with you before I leave today.
oh, Christian reveal, take that, liberals, Christians too exist. That's my whole thing about DJP is he creates these storylines where we're meant to believe that the most abundant communities in America are in the minority. No, like seriously, this is probably how he wants people to react. All right, honey, it's time for me to drop you off at college. Wait. Can we pray first? Oh my God, no way! That dad ends up meeting Ty a couple seconds later, and you know what? If you were dropping your daughter off at school for the first time, what is the first thing that you would do? Because they meet up, find out that they're both Christians, and the dad's like, oh, thank God, there's gonna be someone here to pray with her. By the way, can you watch over her for me?
You know, not only will I pray for her, I'll try to keep an eye out for her as well.
I can't tell you how much I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, man, look, I know we just met for the first time, but based on your looks, you look like the most trustworthy guy I've ever met. Okay, blonde Christian girl is Michaela, stuck-up girl who yells is Stephanie. Character establishment.
I'm Michaela Morris. I'm a freshman.
That figures. You got a car.
Yo, stop doing that. It's honestly insane to me how much she wants to drive again. And given her track record, I don't even think she gives a shit about the car. She's just itching for that casual drunk drive. Imagine that, dude. You know, some people like a morning coffee or a bike ride, but for Stephanie, there's nothing like screaming down the highway at a $150 covering 3 lanes at once. So Stephanie's like, hey, we should go to this party tonight. And Michaela's like,
Is this one of those parties where there's alcohol or drugs?
It's not a party without alcohol.
dude, this is literally a scene straight out of one of those anti-drug programs they showed us in school. It's not a party without alcohol is a crazy line, though. Donald was cooking with that one. Well, then Ty meets his roommate, Brad. Fucking feet out and everything.
Why are you going to college? I mean, shouldn't you be hanging around the Senior Citizen Center playing bingo and bridge and drinking in shirt? No disrespect intended, just I thought that's what seniors did. I mean, that's what my grandpa does.
No offense taken.
Like, why is he still getting pissed off about this? I get it. Like, there were a couple older students on my college campus, I think like in their 50s, but A, they lived in private dorms, and B, they weren't insane. I actually did some research to see if I could find Donald's age, but I couldn't find it anywhere. The only thing I found out about him is that he's 6 feet tall, allegedly. This all goes back to Donald's big God complex problem, you know? I don't think God has to use a pill organizer. Anywho, Brad's like, hold on. Is that a Bible?
Is that a Bible you're reading?
Affirmative.
That's cool.
So here we have yet another Christian, and that's great, but then this happens.
I mean, here I was worried about getting a party animal for a roommate, not being able to study at all, or much less read my Bible without taking a lot of flack for it.
Well, I've been called an animal before. Never a party animal.
What the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying about Donald maybe projecting his life into these scripts? Like, it almost seems like it's therapeutic for him. I'd also like to just point out that the sexual tension in this scene was off the goddamn walls. I mean, I was ready for them to kiss at any moment. So, then this interaction happens.
I mean, how can Jesus Christ be the Son of God if science proves there is no God?
Exactly.
Look at it this way. You have the chance to change a saint into a sinner.
And now it's revealed that their goal is to break down Michaela's obsession with Jesus Christ. And by them, I mean only Stephanie, because as usual with these films, most of the characters established in the first 20 minutes don't do shit. The next scene brings us through another one of Donald's Christian fantasies, in which he, a creationist Christian, gets denied from a top-level science class.
And that assessment has nothing to do with my age?
Your age is of no concern to us. Your superstitions and your refusal to accept sound science is.
Oh, no! This can't keep happening! Once again, Donald, you are not oppressed, brother! He's trying to display a situation that happens to every ethnic and religious group other than him. That being said, I'm confident that Donald is the master of one thing. Gooning. Fantasizing about things that will never come true for you in real life must be the ultimate edge.
You know, John Scopes of the infamous monkey trial in Dayton made an interesting observation.
Yeah, hey, I'll stop you right there. Who cares? The film assumes that the audience has a solid understanding of creationism, or maybe even strategically lack thereof. So in case you don't know, I've gone through the trouble of Googling for you, okay? I will accept applause. I love that sound. Creationism is the religious belief that nature and aspects such as the universe, earth, life, and humans originated with supernatural acts of divine creation. In its broadest sense, creationism includes a continuum of religious views, which vary in their acceptance or rejection of scientific explanations such as evolution, that describe the origin and development of natural phenomena. As that description stated, there's a wide range of views among the sects of creationism, and you can pause and take a look at this chart if you need to. It's gonna take a little longer to pick up on, but based on what we learn later in the film, I've been able to narrow down the fact that Donald is probably a young Earth creationist. Young Earth creationists are actually the goofiest. Their defining factor is that they believe that the Earth has only existed for less than 10,000 years, so do with that what you will. Because of his denial, Ty pulls up to his level 1 biology class, and when he walks up on these two guys shit-talking him to Michaela, they back down like he's the biggest guy they've ever seen.
I just need to check and make sure that you're a registered student. We don't allow people to just drop in. Oh, yeah. Do you have your student card?
Dude, this is like the third time he's been ID'd. This professor, Professor Tucker, really likes him. Like is actively flirting with him. And I'm gonna mention this now because it continually happens, but Ty is an absolute champion at cock blocking himself.
I think she likes you.
Not for long.
Boy, ain't no fucking way.
All right, so I'm sure you guys know how this is gonna go. The professor's gonna ask a question, Donald's gonna disagree. If you didn't know it was going there, God help you. But the very first thing that happens in class just doesn't happen, okay? I'm confident it is literally against every secular school's policy.
I would like all of you who believe that God created the universe and life as it is to stand up.
Look at those proud standing Christians! I'm with you!
Yeah, we always have a number of students who cling to the superstition. But by the time you finish my course, almost no one stands to confess this foolishness.
I have many things to say about this, but here's my main issue. The point of a biology class is to learn about biology, not convert Christians to atheism. But after a few moments of Bible quoting, the film basically tries to establish the idea that these two characters are now gonna butt heads for the rest of the story. The one thing I will commend this film for, though, is actually the bare minimum, which is the fact that it has a somewhat fluid story. You know, like Hearts or Trump was legitimate nonsense. I could not name a single plot point that didn't end up being some kind of political rant. But the story certainly heats up, because apparently the events of that class have become legend around campus. So Stephanie joins Michaela and Ty for dinner to get a piece of the action. And action it is, because this scene is 10 goddamn minutes long. Another trope in the Donald James Parker canon is scenes that go on for an abysmal amount of time. What's worse is that the pacing within the scenes is dreadful. I am not exaggerating when I say it makes a 10-minute scene feel like 30 minutes. That said, I'm just gonna give you a general rundown, and I'm gonna spare us some time, okay? More applause. I'm addicted to the sound. Hell, Stephanie gets pretty acquainted with Brad, and honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure you can guess why.
I bet you have some nice wheels to get around.
Pickup truck.
Really? You mind giving me a ride sometime?
God damn it. Then out of nowhere, this macho guy pulls up, and he is wild, dude.
The Neanderthal thing was getting a little old.
Neanderthal? Really? Is that a way to speak to an old flame?
That flame went out so totally that there is no evidence that it ever existed.
Your mouth's saying one thing, but your eyes are telling me you still want me.
Guys, keep in mind, Donald wrote this, okay? He wrote that line. The guy presses Ty and then casually drops that there's an intramural sports league on campus, so obviously Ty's signing up for that shit. Not only that, but he's gonna make his own team. But as soon as Stephanie and Brad leave, Ty and Michaela just start trashing Stephanie because they sense she's not godly. Sorry guys, I'm just doing a little lunge stretch here, and then we can move on. Okay, why don't you stretch with me? Why don't we take a stretch break? Nah, fuck it. Let's just move on.
Hey, can we have your autograph, Gramps?
Are you mocking me?
No. You're our hero if you stood up to Professor Tucker.
You're a legend on campus in just one day. I can't wait to see what you have for the rest of the year.
Right, like you can tell. You can tell where he took a break from writing to do an edge session.
We're part of the computer club, and we heard you were a computer guy, but also a creationist. How can that be?
Dude was probably purple from the buildup. I'm telling you, that's why this scene is so long. He couldn't stop. This is yet another DJP trope. I like to call this one the baiting tactic, because in all of Donald's films, the liberals, atheists, Democrats, what have you, only exist to act as human debate prompts. I'm telling you, watch 10 minutes of any of his movies, and I guarantee you'll start to go insane.
And then you have to ask yourself the question in the first place. How did this organism survive without a brain in order so it could develop a brain later? So, what came first? The blood or the brain? Or the lungs? Or the heart that's needed to pump the blood to the brain? Or the liver, which is...
What the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, as you can see, the whole creationist argument for not believing in science is simply the fact that it doesn't make sense. But you know why it does make sense? Because it's science. But who cares? Because these boys are absolutely mind-boggled. Within about a minute, their entire lives have been changed.
I've never heard this stuff explained like this before. This makes sense.
The next scene takes place in biology class. Today's topic, natural selection. And dude, this is that one day in the semester where everyone knows what's about to go down. I mean, the seats are filled. You can smell the controversy in the air.
I'm sorry, but I'm really having trouble getting a handle on this natural selection. Could you explain its properties to me?
Properties?
Yeah, you know, size, weight, color. What's its chemical composition? Does it matter? Is it energy?
Dumb, stupid. Creationists in this scenario are actually pretty hypocritical because they don't seem too accepting of chance in nature, yet they live their entire lives through faith. The whole premise is just so half-baked. I mean, every sick burn that comes out of Ty's mouth just sounds like someone who's super high and has a crazy idea.
It just seems to me that these textbook authors, with your help, are trying to sell us a crock. And that crock ain't full of butter.
This gets Professor Tucker super flustered, so in order to diffuse the situation and continue the conversation later, she invites him out for coffee in front of the entire class. By the way, she mentioned before that she's been teaching for 25 years?
I'm Dr. Tucker, and this is my 25th year teaching this class.
So just to let you guys know, when Ty inevitably brainwashes her, I'm going to become very violent and unpredictable.
Man.
Did they just fuck? Well, I don't know. But what I do know is that Stephanie has just manipulated Brad into going to a party he doesn't want to go to. That's all you need to know. Then we cut to Professor Tucker talking with her coworker, and guys, she is obsessed with Ty. I mean, the way she talks about him makes her sound like an anime villain.
Well, you're gonna kick him out of class, or at least threaten to.
It's crossed my mind, but I hate to duck out in such a challenge. It's been a while since I've had such a worthy adversary.
What? Like, what, does she have lore with this? Is Ty gonna be the chosen one who finally defeats her? Sorry, but what does Donald think happens in schools? Now get this, the 3 words that she uses to describe Ty are intelligent, bold, and handsome. Yeah, the 3rd grader with Benjamin Button disease.
You're getting personal, Vaughn.
Well, you know I'm jealous.
I'm so sorry that the mutual attraction's not on my end. And besides, I just think your wife might object.
Yeah, whatever.
What? I don't care. And you know what else I don't care about? The next scene. Because their coffee date is just a nothing burger argument where they're completely nasty to each other. And given the context, you'd think the date would end off on a pretty sour note, right?
Now I gotta get going. Somebody's piled a whole bunch of homework on me, and I can't afford to get behind.
Well, wait. Before you go, how about I treat you to dinner sometime?
What? I didn't show you guys the clip, but seconds before that, he wrapped up the argument by basically implying that she's going to hell.
You'll never get that chance to yell, "Yippee! I win! There is no eternal life." And you're gonna know that you blew it. Big time.
Even in an active effort to cockblock himself, Ty is still pulling. Gentlemen, take notes. Scratch that. At the party, Brad gets pressed by that cafeteria guy again. Still don't know his name.
But you wanted a man. This guy doesn't even drink. Of course I do. Come on, Stephanie. Let's go check out that bourbon.
Yeah, I drink. Let's go check out that bourbon. Yeah, let's go check out that.
You better not be mixing that bourbon with lemonade or something like that. When?
The next scene actually rocks. Ty catches Brad coming in late and reprimands him for partying, fearing that he's been having premarital sex with Stephanie. You know, it's funny because if this were an actual comedy, this would be an awesome setup for a scene. Honestly, the movie in general. The more I think about it, I think that's what makes this movie so entertaining to me. Like, it has mastered the art of lacking self-awareness.
We'll just continue this talk later, okay? And when we do, I want to mention that smell of alcohol that is filling the room right now. Good night.
Why doesn't he just get a roommate swap? Why didn't he do it day 1? It was at this point that the film really made me start to think. Did Donald even go to college? Well, if this is his real Facebook, it would seem he went to Dakota State University in South Dakota. It's a pretty small school, but the campus actually looks really pretty. It kind of reminds me of my college a little bit. Wagner College, baby, Wagner College. I mean, look, maybe things were different back in the day, but I kind of bring all this up to say that I feel like Donald was just a normal guy back in the day, and something really bad happened to him at some point along his path. Or I'm wrong. Anyway, crazy interaction in this next scene. Check this out.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a moth and Stephanie's a candle. And I just can't help flying into the flames.
The Bible says that if you resist the devil, he'll flee from you.
Are you saying Stephanie's the devil?
No.
No,
I'm
yeah,
just saying
that's
that-
exactly what you just said. I'm gonna give it to DJP on this one, though. Very interesting to see some Christian-on-Christian violence here, okay? That's rare. Well, here we are, just about halfway through the movie, and God help us, no pun intended, we have 53 minutes left. From this point on, I'm gonna summarize a little bit more because we have a lot to cover, and the craziest shit hasn't even happened yet. So, remember earlier when they were talking about the intramural sports league?
Trying to show off some talent, old man?
You'd think with the way he delivered that line that they'd be playing some high-action sports, like football or soccer. Well, how about chess? And fuck this, dude, because you know what? I know for a fact that the only reason they put chess in this movie is so that Donald could go on in some conspiracy rant and end it with checkmate.
Checkmate.
However, this is the argument in the movie that makes me think Donald forgot what he was writing about halfway through, because it is a non-stop 4-minute exchange about fluoride in drinking water.
Did you know that our supply of sodium fluoride is now being provided by China, that bastion of security and safety and health practices? Hey, doesn't that make you feel all warm and cuddly?
But then there's another chess game, and guys, look, I'm not even exaggerating for it's just romantic.
Check. I've got you cornered.
Dude, he's so sweet about it. Like, honestly, that might be my favorite out of context clip from the movie. This part is hilarious because instead of them arguing about politics or religion, they just have a back and forth about the chess game that they're playing.
You're a noble adversary.
Hey, by the way, I'm in your bio class. Thanks for standing up for those of us that are afraid.
Oh, God! Guys, I can't make it any clearer. Okay, it just, that doesn't happen. The next day, they do a 2-mile race, which, I don't know, man, that just sort of feels super specific. But Ty and Brad clean that shit. And after winning, Ty offers the group strawberry milkshakes on him. Yeah, there's that specificity again. But Stephanie doesn't want to get milkshakes because she's like,
I'm thirsty too, but not for milkshakes.
So it looks like they'll be going to another party. Hope nothing bad happens. Ty and Professor Tucker finally have their dinner date in Professor Tucker's home, but before that gets weird, we get a glimpse into this party, which takes place in a massive dim room with a disturbing lack of people. It's the perfect amount of space for each person to have their own awkward corner to stand in. You know, it's awesome. Anyway, they're having a drinking competition. Like, no game involved. It's just a competition to see who can drink the most. It's fucking hard rock, man. I really hope nothing bad happens. Back at the house, Professor Tucker could not be more clear that she wants to bang.
People like you are condemning young people to eternal punishment because of your teaching?
Have you ever considered just grabbing me and having some fun?
I think you've had a little bit too much of that fermented grape juice.
But the problem here is that Ty is really uncomfortable. So during this scene, we kind of just watch him get sexually harassed.
That's what scientists do when they remove God from the equation, and then they try to explain the intricacies of the world. They take away the correct answer.
Yo!
So no one can
Well,
answer.
Ty ends up making a great escape from that fiasco, leaving Professor Tucker screaming at him as he flees. He then walks up on Michaela in the middle of nowhere, who says, quote, she has a really bad feeling about Brad, so they go to the party to scope things out. Funny that she had a bad feeling about Brad, though, because when we cut back to the party, Stephanie throws up, passes out, and literally fucking dies.
Oh my God. She has no vital sign. What are you saying? I'm saying she's dead.
Oh, fuck, man. Oh, no. She's dead, man. Oh, fuck. Now, this scene is super dramatic, okay? You got Brad yelling at Professor Tucker, who's also here for some reason. I guess it's her fault. And Michaela's like,
I need to pray over her.
and well, by praying over her body, you guessed it, guys, she brings her ass back to life with the power of God. This could easily be the end of the movie, okay? It is the perfect final moment of rejoice for everyone to come together. But as far as I'm aware, I've already put you guys through like a solid 20 minutes of this video, and I'm afraid if I keep yapping, you guys are gonna do something drastic, because the rest of the movie truly becomes nonsense, okay? Donald gets expelled from school, Professor Tucker gets fired, Christians start taking over the campus, and there's still like 2 more high-action sports scenes that mean nothing to the plot. Ty's expulsion is celebrated by a community of random people like he's made some kind of crowning achievement. I mean, I guess he exposed Professor Tucker for being an alcoholic predator, but in terms of his overall goal here, I feel like that was kind of just a side quest. The film ends in the most bizarre way possible, with a church full of kids reading various quotes from evolution deniers. This one kid, like, he can't even read.
Ernst Chain, Nobel Prize winner.
But that's the end of the movie. And if you ask me, I don't really think that there was anything actually achieved. You could argue that Ty successfully changed Professor Tucker's mind, but I'd argue that he simply drove her to madness with his own insanity. And with that being said, I'm gonna drop the mic. Like, evolution is not real. Drop the mic. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. No, you know what I want you to do in the comments? In the comments, I want you to leave the phrase, "Oh Jesus, oh God." That would be funny. This one was quite the roller coaster to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. I love watching Donald James Parker films. They make me feel like I'm dying. That being said, short outro, and that's all I have for you this time, but until next time. Guys, this is what I want to show you today for the outro clip. I have this sensory shark, and he goes like that. It's so nice to play with. Do you guys have one of these? Okay, that's it. Bye, guys. That's so weird, dude.